So now that we've used the StatCrunch output, let's do a video here to show you how to get that output. So first, if you have the notes printed out, here at the very end, there are some directions in how you can use StatCrunch. Now there are two different ways your data can be organized. So I'm going to show you both ways that you can understand why you would do things in one situation versus the other. The good news is our second example that we'll do later has the data the other way, so you will get to see it demonstrated both ways. If I look at my weight loss data, what we're going to use for this example, each of my columns represents one of my groups. So I have for my nothing group, here's my different weight losses. For my exercise group, here's my different weight losses. And for my diet group, here's my different weight losses. Now the data could have been organized differently. So let me actually show you what that looks like for a different example. So what that would look like instead is I would have two different columns, one for basically which group they are in. Here that's going to be our different areas when we talk about the house example, and then their price. Or what that would look like in our example is I would have the group that they were in, and then their weight loss. So for each individual person, I would have, well, which group were they in, and how much weight did they lose? What group were they in? How much weight did they lose? So it's the exact same data, it's just been organized in a slightly different way. So I can have the exact same numbers, it's just that I'm going to have them organized in a different way. And the reason why that's important then for me is it's just going to tell me which way I'm going to be doing things here in StatCrunch. So we have the data loaded where samples are separated by column. The other way, the way I was demonstrating here, is when we actually have the two variables where one is the group and one is the other measurement. So again, you'll get to see the separate way with our next example later. So right now we're doing it where samples are separated by column. Then we're going to go to Stat, ANOVA, one way. Here, then you're just going to click which groups that you want to compare. Here, I'm going to actually have to control click or shift click, depending upon your computer, to select multiple things at the same time. Then at this point, I'm just going to hit compute, and we're going to get that same output that we saw in our example. All I've done is rounded some of the numbers that you see here when you actually look at them in StatCrunch itself. So same values. Notice here our F is 43.4, which when we actually did the math, we got that same value. So that's just how to get the StatCrunch output when your data is separated by columns. Again, if your data is separated the other way, where you have just the two different variables, one for your group and one for your quantitative variable, then you'll be doing the other method, which we'll demonstrate in example 2.